this program to bring you an important announcement.
Father God, we just thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for your mercy and grace today, Father God. I just ask that you just think through my mind, think through our minds, and speak through our vocal cords, and just move through our actions and give us the right words to say, the right responses, and let it all just be from the heart and from truth. I just thank you, and I ask that you just bless Wally as well and Urban Grind TV, Father God, and we just thank you for this opportunity, and your will be done. We just thank you in Jesus' mighty name. Hallelujah.
Amen. Thank you. That was amazing. All right. Welcome. It's your boy Wally, aka Mr. Music is My Business. And welcome to the OGs of Hip-Hop on Urban Grind TV. The OGs of Hip-Hop is a new groundbreaking series that celebrates the pioneers of hip-hop, legacy artists, aka the original gangsters. Created by Wally Lockard III, myself, I'm a certified hip-hop scholar and teacher. I'm also the founder of Urban Grind TV. Each one of these episodes honors the trailblazers who have shaped the culture, and we showcase their unforgettable stories. Through in-depth interviews, we connect with these legendary figures, and what we do is want to get the inside story and pay tribute to their impact, and we want to bridge the gap between generations, introducing their invaluable contributions to the next wave of artists, man. So my guest here tonight is just an incredible artist, long time coming. His name is Mr. Kutt Calhoun. He's been rapping since the late 1990s, and he was signed with Strange Music's Tech 9 in 2004 as the label's first artist. He released his critically acclaimed debut studio album, BLEVE, in 2004. Is that for Believe?
Yeah, Believe, both of them.
All right. And the follow-up was the feature presentation, dropped in 2008. That project debuted at number 60 on the Billboard Top R&B and Hip Hop album charts. The third album, Raw and Uncut, entered the Billboard 200, and it peaked at number 19 on the Top Heat Seekers chart. Kutt founded the record label Black Gold Entertainment, and his third EP, Cuttin' Loose, in 2014, was the first release under that imprint. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kutt Calhoun. Welcome. Put the applause in there later. Kutt, man, talk to me, bro. How you feeling right now?
Brother, I'm good, man. Been a long day working, you know what I'm saying? Leading up to this moment, you know what I'm saying? Just getting my mind together, man, and just being thankful, man. Just thankful for this opportunity. You know, like you said, I've been doing my thing for quite some time now, man. And I just appreciate this opportunity, man, to get some things out to people who may have known who I am and, you know, soon to be fans, and just letting people in on who I am, man, and kind of my track record and what I've been doing and what I got going on right now.
So let's start with that. Let's start with right now. What do you have going on right now?
Well, right now, I just dropped an album called, it's an acronym, TDIAL, stands for The Devil Is a Lie. It just dropped on the 27th of September, man. And so that's what's popping right now. And so I'm in the midst of letting it do its thing, and trying to put together some things to where I can get some visuals out there as well. You know what I'm saying? For the fans, you know, they need the visuals. And working on a merch line, as you can see already, working on the merch line, man, and just steadily just building from there, you know.
Let's go ahead and talk about the new project, TDIL. Let's talk about it.
What's up? Let's do it.
What inspired you to do this project, and what was it like?
Man, what inspired me to do it, man? I tell you what, I took a little break from music for a while. Actually last year I put out an EP called Residue, but before that, my last full-length album was in 2019, Truth Be Told, Persona Non Grata. And so I've been kind of dipping in and dipping out, man, kind of playing double dutch or whatever, you know what I'm saying, with the music or whatever. But I've been, you know, taking my time and able to just put my all into it, not being rushed, not being on nobody's timetable or guideline, man. And I put out Residue last year, so that was a 4-year hiatus. And in that hiatus, man, I just been, you know, getting myself together, you know what I'm saying, mind, body, and spirit, mind, body, soul, and spirit, and just, you know, experiencing life. Sometimes it takes you a little time to to experience some things, to be able to have some content. I'm not the type of person that just likes to put out anything just because. I always like to put out things that's based true solely off of my life, either, personally, or things that I've lived through and been around or whatever. So I put out that Residue EP last year in March, and I started just getting that feeling again, man, watching the scene, seeing what's going on. And I started hearing some beats that got sent to me from my boy 11, Tali Blanco. And hearing that beat, it was just a new sound. It kind of inspired me to get back to writing again, kind of lit a fire up under me, had a light bulb go off, man. And, the rest is history. As far as the title, The Devil is a Lie, it's been so much going on right now, man. And to even piggyback off of that, the whole Katt Williams thing, and about 2024 is the year for exposure and this and that. And, I shared a lot of sentiments with what's going on and where we at today as a people, as a generation, and what's going on in this world, man. I just had a lot of stuff that just needed to come out, man, and get it off my chest. And The Devil is a Lie, I look at that like, man, that's not even a culture thing. The devil is a lie. If anybody, been living for any amount of time, when some things go wrong, or it seems like, how could that happen? It's like, nah, the devil is a lie. You know what I'm saying? You feeling like, you just feeling like, the way things is shouldn't be the way that it is. It's like, first thing you say is like, nah, the devil is a lie, And so that was how the title came up. And, I stuck with it and ran with it, and voila, here we are,
So let's talk about it. What are some of the things that's going on right now that you see as jumping out to you right now when we talk about the year of exposure and the year of that? What is some of the stuff that you're referring to?
Some of the stuff I'm referring to is like a lot of these rap or these artists, you know what I'm saying, entertainers, whether it be in the music industry, whether it be in the film industry. I've been talking about this for years, but it kind of got put on a pedestal with the Katt Williams interview. But I am the type of person, like, I'm totally for be who you are. You know what I'm saying? If that's who you are, own it, represent it, and just be that. But then there's a lot of buffoonery and trickery going on to where people are putting out this fake facade. They're showing you one thing, you know what I'm saying, but they really live in another life. And the reason it affects me is because if you're going to be you, just be you. For example, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I can say his name or not, but we got an artist out there that had that cowboy rap song, you know what I'm saying? And he came out with another video that was just totally off the wall. But you know what? As much as I dislike it and I don't condone it or agree with it, he's showing everybody who he is. You know what I'm saying? The reason I don't like it is because when you're on a platform, you're not only just living how you want to live. Now you got the eyes of people looking at you, you know what I'm saying? And there's people that may look up to you and think that this is cool to be like this and like that. And so I just feel like when you're on the platform, man, you're held accountable for not only what you say, but what you do. And when you got a lot of little kids, I got children, you know what I'm saying? And when you got kids that's looking to see what's cool, what's in, what's hot, what's to do, and you confusing them, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of contrary to, what you've taught and how you brought them up. Well, then now I'm affected. And so that's the only thing that I got against him. But you got people out here that's living that same type of life, but they're portraying themselves to be harder than what they are, gangsters or street people or whatever. And you're finding out slowly but surely that these people ain't who they always perceived to be. And I got some of that in there. And I also got in there about, just this epidemic, man, with, our women too. The women are being misled, with how to portray themselves. If the women are not on some, some foul living, they just, it's just been getting oversaturated, with the women kind of just degrading themselves and giving the wrong idea to these young princesses, these young queens in the world, man. It's just really just upsetting. So I touch on topics like that, but I touch on topics like that, in in a street savvy way, but it's always message in the music. So those are just a couple of the things that, you know what I'm saying, is entailed in the whole album, you know what I'm saying, along with some personal experiences of my own, you know what I'm saying, how I come up and, you know, the things that I've been through for some street stuff, but changed my life around and just, you know, trying to get the message out there. Like, you know what I'm saying, if you're in the streets and you live in this type of way, you know what I'm saying, this ain't the way that it's got to be. It's another alternative, because if you keep traveling down this road, this is what can happen. You know what I'm saying? This is the outcome. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have to keep being on some killing each other, just the same repetitive thing. You know what I'm saying? Insanity is keep on doing the same thing, expecting different results. You know what I'm saying? You got people out there that still want to hear some shoot 'em up, bang, bang, some dope in the clubs. It's all about getting some butt from some girls and, you know, doing some drugs and shoot 'em up, bang, bang, and all that stuff. But then you got some people that, you know what I'm saying, not only is sick of that, but are victims to people who rock like that. You got parents that then lost kids to people trying to rock like that, looking up to artists who's putting that energy out there, man. I feel like music is one of the most powerful influences, and it's a frequency in music, you know what I'm saying? And to back that up with the truth, how many people you know doing drive-bys, or when it's time to put in some work, pop in BB and CC Winers, or pop in some Kirk Franklin to go handle their business? That ain't what happens. You
Right.
pop in, we'll push you in that mood. While you smoking, or when you popping the pill, or when you snorting, or when you drinking and getting high, you listening to something that's going to line right up with that mood. You know what I'm saying? And so with music being a powerful influence like that, man, you know, I'm just trying to bring that positive energy and just let people know that this ain't the way that it's got to be, man. Be accountable for what you're putting out there. You know, you got some people that don't want to listen to that, but then you got, I think it's just as many people, or even more, that do want to listen to some stuff like that, because they're tired of losing loved ones. They're tired of losing their children to either death or in jail for the rest of their life, man. You know?
Man, for sure. So let's talk about that. So it's not only that people portray the negativity, but it's also that I think people live a lot of they're not authentic. They're not living their authentic self. And the reason they're doing that is they really don't know who they are. So a lot of people wind up in this thing because they're not certain who they are. So they portray an image. And I think you were talking about Shorty from Old Town Road, right? Nas X, right? Yeah. So he's kind of fizzled out. I mean, the guy had his few minutes. He had a record and stuff like that. But generally, I think artists like that don't know where to go, because it's an inauthentic. They're not authentic. And you know, they try to be who they are. There's pressures in the business, and I think a lot of people go for just what they're going to get a reaction out of. It's like, hey, I want to get a reaction out of people, so I'm going to say or do this. And a lot of times, unfortunately, people nowadays, they go for the shock value. They're trying to shock people into doing it. So I think you got a great perspective on it. And you're saying that
I think they do the shock value, but I also think that you know, before they got introduced, you know what I'm saying, on that platform to get to present it to the world, and, you know, possibly become famous or be put on a plateau that's giving them more money than they ever had before. I think the reason it gets me upset is because it'd be different if you tricked into it. A lot of these labels let you know up front, especially major labels, you know what I'm saying? You got to sign something, and then a lot of these people, they let you know what they want you to talk about and what you can't talk about. A lot of these people come into this with their own mind and own ideas, but they're not allowed to express themselves, because to be on, this is what's popular, this is what sells. And so at that point in time, you got a choice. Now, are you vulnerable enough to be like, man, if I don't take this deal, it's back to the hood and back to scrounging and scraping? Or you go compromise your integrity and your morals, and you go ahead and just do it and be on some, but that ain't how I really live my life. Well, you know what? It's too late, because once you got big, so many people done heard you, and you're on a platform with so many people listening to what you're saying, it's too late. Even if you're not living that life, you've compromised the lives of other people who's wanting to be in a position like you, and they got the wrong impression.
And they've got to maintain a persona. So the OGs of hip-hop, we're all about honoring those who paved the way. What does being an OG in hip-hop mean to you personally?
Man, it's kind of crazy to think about OG in hip hop, man. It kind of makes you think about your age a little bit. But I would say being an OG in hip hop is kind of similar to the streets. You know what I'm saying? You didn't been down through there. You didn't paid your dues. You know what I'm saying? The blood, sweat, and tears. You didn't took some risk. You didn't won some risk. You didn't lost some risk. You got some battle wounds, some battle scars to prove it. And being an OG in the game just means that you didn't put in that work, man, long enough to where now, you got a little clout about your name. There's a little respect on your name. And, if you've done it the right way, then you can still be appreciated, you know what I'm saying, at present day.
That's amazing. Yeah, hey, thank God that, you made it to be here. Some people didn't make it to be here, to survive, to be relevant in a business that is very, very competitive. Now, speaking of game, you've been in the game a long time. You started with strange music. What's it like seeing the evolution of hip hop from the early days to where it is now? What's something that you like about it? We've talked about some of the things that you're not so happy with. But what's it like seeing the evolution? Because hip hop has evolved. So what's it like for you?
It's cool seeing some of these younger kids be able to get on a little bit quicker. It's not as hard for them to do it. You actually don't even have to be signed to a major label. You don't have to do the pay to play thing. You don't have to do all the crazy stuff. You can actually just kind of blow up off of TikTok and YouTube. And the ones that's genuine and authentic and not sounding the same as everybody else, because we got to there was one point in time where, after Drake was out for a few years, everybody was trying to do the Drake sound, the Drake auto-tune sound, and everybody's just kind of sounding the same. But for those authentic ones that come out, man, and actually getting to profit off of what they're doing, it's a cool thing, because there's actually some people out here that got some talent and got some skills. But unfortunately, sometimes the ones that blow up is the ones that's on the BS. You know what I'm saying? And the majority of people want to hear the BS stuff, but I do appreciate where it's came to, because everything has to evolve. I think, and so I don't knock anybody that's trying to get their money, man, and it's helping them to feed themselves, change their lives or the lives of their family. Kudos to them. You know what I'm saying? I commend them for that. You know what I'm saying? So I am happy with that. I'm not disappointed with the whole game. I appreciate evolution. I wouldn't still be here and be relevant if I wasn't able to evolve and still do my thing. So I do appreciate where rap has come to. There's some good and then there's some bad. And so it ain't all negative. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I had a lot of feedback when I said I got Kutt coming on. I had a lot of people that were asking, tapping in with me, and they had questions. So I want to kind of bump into that. Looking back at your early days with strange music, so the label that Tech Nine founded, what moments stand out to you most in the terms of growth and success?
Man, being able to be creative and have creative control over the music that I was doing. Being able to be around somebody who had been in the game and had already kind of planted a flag in the game, who had a name, had the experience, been with big wigs before, and so was innovative. You know what I'm saying? It was very innovative. I can say that it made me step my game up a lot, being around over there at Strange Music, being with him from in the late 90s. It made me step my game up, because it was always a friendly competition, and it was always, you got to come with your A game. You don't want to be outshined, and it just made you bring your A game. I learned tricks, you know what I'm saying, with styles and how to write bars. I used to just rap a song all the way through. I didn't know what bars was. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what punching in was. I just said the whole rap all the way through. You know what I'm saying? And then if I wanted to double it, said the rap all the way through again and double it. So I learned some things over there, man. I learned about style, and I learned how to just open my mind up to being creative with what I already had, putting the creativeness on it from being around tech. You know what I'm saying? And so I definitely appreciate that, getting able to rehearse. I didn't know nothing about rehearsing. I had never been on nobody's stage before I got there either. So seeing how it actually goes, we was doing mainstream big boy stuff just on an independent label. So it kind of allowed me to get catapulted to a major star status and experience without being mainstream. You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate all of that I got from over there, man. That stands out a lot. Coming up with synchronized moves, to have a stage presence, to be uniformed in the same clothing, and to have unified moves and stuff. Learning how to be a performer versus just a rapper. So I went from a rapper to a performer to an entertainer to an artist. So to me, an artist is well-rounded. That's all of them combined. You know what I'm saying? And I can honestly say, I wouldn't have evolved into that had I not, you know what I'm saying, been introduced to him and been a part of it. And if I would have, it wouldn't have been as quick as it happened.
That's amazing. I'm glad that you did touch on that. A lot of people think that you're able to write something in the studio and then you record it and then you automatically go on stage and you have that wow, that pizzazz. That's very rare that everyone has something special like that. Usually you have to develop it, and it's like technique, right? It's like if you're swinging a bat on baseball, like you think you just get up there and swing. No, there's actually a technique to it. And music is the same thing.
The way your hips got to be set and the way your elbows got to be propped up and your foot got to be positioned. And when you swing, it's just kind of like when you swing a golf club, it's a technique to it. When you throw a straight right, it's a technique to it. You got to lead off of your back. And so, yeah, it's techniques to it, man. And so everybody doesn't get it. You know, sometimes you got these artists that's so big that they can just go on stage and just walk from side to side. And, you know, it's a sold out show. But we've toured with people that was major stars and they headlined, but we went on before them and destroyed the whole show because we performed, you know what I'm saying? And so performing is very important. And I take it all the way back to Michael Jackson, man. That guy was a performer, and that's how you woo crowds. That's how we was able to get from 50 people a show up to 25,000 people a show. It was from the performance, and then the music caught on, but the performance is what you know caught people.
Amazing. I'm glad. And Mike's kind of like the top. So yeah, man, shout out to all the people listening, tapping in with us on YouTube Live. Make sure they check us out at Urban Grind TV's YouTube channel. So looks, I want to ask, what's a good story, a good one from like the 90s, maybe the 2000s that you've never told that you want to talk about, like something cool, something positive, something you had fun?
A good story that I never told and want to talk about. Man, there's so many good stories, man. There was so many different personalities and characters on tours. You know what I'm saying? There's a good story. Hoping I don't embarrass my dude. It's just funny every time I think about it. It's a story of we was getting ready to go on stage. It was myself, Kutt Calhoun, and Tech, and my cousin, may rest in peace, was our security guard, Big Nick. We was getting ready to go on stage, and we was in a hotel room, and Kutt Calhoun used to use this spray called Singer Saving Grace, and you spray it in and it coats the throat because he did a lot of the hooks on the song, so he had to make sure that he not only could rap, but he can also have his voice right to sing. But then there was also some sprays that looked just like it that was blunt spray, so that the room smells good if there was smoking being done in there. And they was both in the bathroom on the sink. And so Big Nick, the security, came to get us because it was time to go. And he was like, all right, y'all, let's go. All right, cool. Calico goes in the bathroom, turns the light on, and just grab one of the spray bottles. And to let it saturate in your throat and it warm up your vocal cords, when you're spraying it, you got to go, ah, so it can sink into them vocal cords. And, you know, we just waiting on him. And he goes, ah, and boom, boom. He starts spitting in the sink. And we like, oh, what's wrong? And he looked down at the bottom and he sprayed the blunt spray in his mouth, man. It was going, and started spitting, man. We fell out laughing. I mean, stomach clenched up, tears coming down. Fell out, man. We laughed for about 20 minutes straight, man. You know what I'm saying? On the way to the show, headed to the show, at the show, backstage or whatever. Not to put you out, Chris Calico, to embarrass you or nothing. That was just a funny moment, man. One of the funniest moments. You know what I'm saying? There's another story. We got these tour buses, right? And so we had a sound man, man. He rest in peace. He passed away. Brother Al, an elite sound man, was a sound man for years. Great guy. My bunk was above Brother Al's bunk. And after shows, they break down the production sets and this and that. You know, the production guys be tired. And you know what I'm saying? I'd be up in my bunk playing music real loud. I was right above him, be playing music loud, staying up all night, and had some beers and stuff, just kicking it. And he's trying to get some sleep, and he's hitting my bunk, boom, 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 boom. And, you know, wasn't paying it no mind. And so the next day, you know what I'm saying? I'm sleepy. You know what I'm saying? We got a meet and greet coming up pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? I want to get some rest. So I'm in the back of the tour bus. It's a U-shaped couch. It's a couch around the whole back of the tour bus, man. And I'm back there just trying to get some shut eye. You know what I'm saying? Sleep, didn't really get too much sleep or whatever. And the door opens up. I'm still just laying there. And I'm hearing boom, 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 loud music, some rock and roll, some stuff I don't even listen to, just playing on all the speakers. I kind of opened my eye up a little bit. I didn't move, and I seen that it was Brother Al. And so I get what he's doing. He's trying to disrupt my sleep because I disrupt his and wouldn't let him get no sleep. And so I'm just still playing it off. You know what I'm saying? Acting like it don't even bother me. And there's music playing through the whole tour bus on all the speakers, blaring to where it's like popping and crackling, man. And I'm just laying there. And then I seen he goes off the bus. I get up and I close the door. I'm still laying there. I didn't cut the music down now. Boom, he gets back on the bus. This time I didn't know he was back on. And then I heard the door open. I'm like, oh, he's back on. Maybe he's gonna say something. I kept my eyes closed. And I just feel just big cold, get hit with a big cold feeling. And he went in there, you know, those water, those, what are they, igloo canisters that hold a bunch of ice or water. He had one of those filled up because that's how we fill up our coolers in the front and the back of the tour bus so we can put our beverages and drinks in there. He came on there and he brought some of the other production guys with him. And he poured that whole thing of ice on me to where it covered my whole body. That's how big the canister was. And one of the guys had to help him. And he covered my whole body in ice. And so I was so pissed, man. But to let him know he didn't get to me, once he poured it on me, I just laid there and I kept my eyes closed. And he's just looking. He stood there for about 30 seconds, then he walked off. And once he got off the bus, I got up. I was so mad or whatever, but I didn't want to let him know that he got to me. And so that was a funny moment to me. It didn't feel good at the time, but you know, there's tons of those type of stories, man, that stuck out on tour, man.
That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I think those are some of the things that really stick with you. I want to go something. So we got I want to ask you about advice for new artists, and that's great. Shout out to all the people tapping in the live stream. But you know, we do a segment here at Urban Grind TV. And it's a really dope segment. And I think it's powerful in its thing. And it's called Let's Get Real. And we asked just some dope questions. And so I wanted to ask you, what do you think the biggest misconception that people have about you?
The biggest misconception that people have about me?
Yes, if they had one.
If they had one. There's two of them. I'll say one of them is that I'm disgruntled or bitter about leaving Strange Music. I'm the one that left. I chose to leave. That I'm disgruntled or bitter about leaving Strange Music, and that I may be unapproachable due to my history in my younger years of, you know what I'm saying, gang affiliation and all of that stuff, that I'm not an approachable guy when I'm totally the opposite of that. You know what I'm saying? And I think those are two misconceptions that people may have about me. That's
an amazing answer. That's both honest and And real, you know what? And I want people to know, like, he is not. Like, I reached out, shout out to Moshe, he connected us, and
Yes,
it's
sir.
been all love. And I work with a ton of artists and entertainers and celebrities, and not everybody is as cool and as humble and as well and as the dope. So thank you again for helping us kick off the OGs of hip-hop and do the show today, because I felt like it's really important that we bring these stories and we honor the legends. And you're definitely an OG in hip-hop and a legend, man. And I'm just really proud to have you on to kick off this segment with you, man. So and I want, that was such a good question that I kind of want to bring it back on the let's get real. And again, we're not here you don't got to say nothing, that just share what you want. What do you think is one thing that may have happened behind the scenes? You don't got to drop no names or nothing. But that's changed your perspective on maybe the industry or life.
One thing that's happening behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
I would say something behind the scenes is that never mistake business for friendship. Never mistake business for friendship. You have to understand that this industry is called the music business industry, and 90% of it is business. 10% of it is doing what you love to do and having fun. 90% is business. And so that changed my whole outlook on things. I already knew about what was going on in the mainstream, and I was kind of glad that we never went that route, because what we was doing was, to me, was touring more than people in the mainstream tour. The shows was better than people in the mainstreams was, and the fans was more dedicated and the sellouts and stuff. And so I wasn't even tripping no more about being in the mainstream or being on the radio for real like that. But I already knew about, the deals that you can get caught up in. And then years later, they start doing these 360 deals, and they kind of, shanking artists like, wow. But when you have a realization or that aha moment that, dang, you know what I'm saying, anybody can get it. And you think that, because of how things may have started off, you think you start off as friends. Just know that go into every situation, and this is to, anybody who's looking to get on, who's freshly on, or, maybe it can resonate with you. Go into a situation with your I's dotted and your T's crossed, because it's business first. And, you know what I'm saying, ain't no friends for real in this business. There's acquaintances, there's business partners, but ain't no friends. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got friends that was with you before you got put on, you probably ain't gonna have no friends when you start this. You can make acquaintances and you can make connects, but it really ain't no friends in the music business. And so I would say, even if there is, keep that separate. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring friendship into business, because it'll always spoil and go wrong. Either somebody's gonna feel like they should have the hookup, or should have a little leeway about some things because y'all cool and y'all know each other, and it always can just turn bad, whether that's friends or family. So stay business minded and make sure that if you can afford it, to have a lawyer and to know what you're getting into, and to have an exit clause if it's something that you don't like. Don't get tied up into anything that you can't get out of, and don't be so desperate and vulnerable. Even if you are desperate, don't put yourself out there like that to give somebody the upper hand over your life and over your well-being. You know what I'm saying? So that's some experiences that I had that has changed my whole view about the industry or whatever. But that's what I went through. But you can't learn until you've been through it, man. And so that experience brings wisdom. The only thing is that if you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And so make sure that it don't happen again. If you ain't learning from anything, you ain't gaining no wisdom, man. That would be the thing I should.
I think that's incredible advice, because that is something that people really, you live or die by by your experience in any kind of business. And if it's just not a positive one, because, you let things cross, Yeah, that's unfortunate. So what we're gonna do is, I'm really excited. I got people in the chat. I got my text blowing up right now.
Okay.
People are tuning in at Urban Grind TV's YouTube channel. So just youtube.com/Urban Grind TV. I am loving this. So what I want to do is, I want to do something that I've never done in the thing, and I really think that the fans deserve it and the people do it. So I want to take a short 5-minute break. And during them 5 minutes, I need everybody to go jump online. I need you to go to Instagram and follow Kutt's new Instagram. It's _only_Kutt Calhoun, right?
That's right.
_only_Kutt Calhoun. I need you to go to his YouTube channel and sub. He's got a new album out right now. The Devil is a Lie. TIDAL. Follow Urban Grind TV. You are on the OGs of Hip-Hop. It's a groundbreaking new series. My name is Wally Lockard III, and I'm honored to have. Don't go nowhere. We're going to have a new stream up on our YouTube channel. We're going to go pay some bills, and we're going to jump back on. I got some more questions, man, for you, and I am super excited. And again, I want to thank you. Make sure you stay around. Stick with us. Part 2 will be up and streaming on the same channel. That's Urban Grind TV's YouTube channel. And you're rocking with the OGs of hip hop, man. Stay right there. Don't go nowhere.